It is 6 o'clock, and I call the October 7th, 2025 regular meeting of Franklin County Planning Commission to order. Will staff please call roll and announce whether or not we have a quorum?
Mike Corrales.
Here.
Mike Vincent.
Here.
Remy DeRue.
Here.
Mark DeRuiter.
Here.
Manny Gutierrez. Absent. Stacy Knifton. Absent. Melinda Didier. Absent. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. I will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner DeRue and seconded by Commissioner Vincent. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. I will entertain a motion to approve the meetings to approve the minutes from the September 2nd, 2025 meeting.
I would move that we approve the minutes for the September 2nd, right?
Yes.
Okay, 25 meeting.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Vincent and seconded by Commissioner DeRuiter. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Will staff in attendance please introduce yourselves?
Wes McCart, Director of Planning and Economic Development.
Jem Bellamore, Planner 2.
Sam Alby, Planner 1.
Thank you. It is now time for the public hearing portion of our meeting. Good evening and welcome. Here are the ground rules for tonight's hearing. 1, in-person public testimony will go first. Each person will be called upon to speak during their allotted in-person public testimony section. Please state your name for the record. 2, emailed comments received during the public hearing will be read into the record by staff after the in-person testimony section of the hearing. 3, all comments shall be addressed to the Planning Commission and should be relevant to the application. 4, each speaker shall have 5 minutes to provide testimony and shall speak into the microphone. Please avoid repetitive comments. Please be respectful of each speaker. Avoid personal attacks or disruptive behavior. Are there any questions regarding the public hearing ground rules? Turning for a moment to our commission members, let us keep in mind that we are prohibited by law from communicating with members of the public on the subject matter of these hearings except in these hearings. We also may not participate in discussions in which there is an appearance of conflict of interest to the average person. So let us take a minute to consider as to the matters which are before us for hearing today. Whether we have had any ex parte communications, whether we have any ownership interest in the properties, whether we have any business dealings with proponents or opponents of the matters, or whether we have business associates or immediate family who may be either benefited or harmed by a decision in these matters. Are there any commission members who have a declaration at this time regarding any of the items on the agenda? Let the record show there were no declarations. Is there anyone in the audience this evening who would object to any commission member hearing any of the items on the agenda? Let the record show there were no objections. The order of the hearing shall be as follows. 1, planning staff shall provide staff report. The commission may ask questions of staff. 2, the applicant or applicant's representative presentation. 3, in-person public testimony. 4, email public testimony read into the record by staff. 5, final staff comments. 6, close the public testimony and planning commission discussion deliberation of the proposed action. Are there any procedural questions before we begin the public hearing? Item 1 is public hearing for file ZC 2025-1, SEPA 2025-15, Port of Pasco, AP 20 to 1-2 zone change. The parcel is split zone between agricultural production 20 acres, AP 20, and general industrial, that's I2. The proposal is to rezone the 18.3 acre portion of the parcel from AP 20 to I2. I declare the public hearing for CZ 2025-1, SEPA 2025-15 to be open at 6:05. May we have staff present the staff report, please?
Good evening, Commissioners. This is Jem Bellamore, Planner 2, and I am presenting zoning change for ZC 2025-01, SEPA 2025-15. This property is located at 8924 North Railroad Avenue, parcel number 124680045. It is currently split zone between AP 20 and I2. The comp plan designation for this is Rural Industrial Landmark Type 3. The property size is approximately 161.13 acres. The request is to rezone the AP 20 portion of the parcel into I2, so the general zoning of the entire parcel will be I2. Here is a picture of the property. I will go into detail on which section of the property is in the AP 20 and I2 zone in a little bit. Here is a little bit of history of what happened. On April 12, 2023, a boundary line adjustment application was submitted to the Planning Department from the State Department of Natural Resources and Port of Pasco. The purpose of the boundary line adjustment was for the Port of Pasco to purchase 18.33 acres of land from DNR so they can ensure access from Railroad Avenue into the port's Reman Industrial Center. However, when the BLA was done and approved, a zone change did not occur, which ended up creating a lot that is split zoned. The Port of Pasco and JUB engineers requested a pre-app meeting with our current planning staff to discuss future plans of the Reman Industrial Center subdivision. And then during the meeting, we were able to find out that the current parcel is split zoned, and we informed the port and JUB that a zone change must be done before we can proceed with the subdivision of the property. The port requested to have both applications to be done in concurrence with each other. The planning staff explained that a long subdivision will be conditioned upon the approval of this zone change from the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners. This request is consistent with the Franklin County Comprehensive Plan. Rezoning this to I2 is also consistent with the surrounding areas. Properties on the north, northeast, and south of this property are already zoned I2. Allowing this rezone will also eliminate the split zoning issue of the property and will allow for it to have one consistent zoning designation of I2. Here is the current current site and the surrounding properties. These greenish areas are AP 20. This is the section of the property. This triangular section is zoned AP 20, and the rest is zoned I2. This is already I2. These properties up here are I2. This portion here is zoned I2 already. So rezoning this triangular section will be consistent with its surrounding properties and will also make it easy for the entire parcel to just be I2. Here is a picture of the natural resource lands map, or the agricultural lands of long-term commercial significance. As you can see, all those that are colored green and colored red are natural resource designated lands. This is the site, and as you can see, this site does not have any natural resource lands on the property. This is the comp plan designation. It is currently designated as Rural Industrial Landmark Type 3. This is the North Pasco industrial area. the parcel is located in this LAMERD. So it is consistent with the comp plan designation and is also designated as industrial inside a LAMERD in the Franklin County comp plan. On September 18th, 2025, a SEPA determination of non-significance was issued for this project by the lead agency. Comments were due until October 2nd, 2025. When we posted the SEPA, it was posted as a combined SEPA for a project under the Long Plat subdivision and a non-project for the zone change. SEPA mitigation measures will only apply to the Long Plat subdivision conditions of approval. Regarding agency and public comments, we did not receive any significant comments from agency regarding the zone change of the application, but we did receive comments regarding the subdivision portion, which we'll go into detail later. We didn't receive any comments from surrounding property owners or residents in the county regarding this proposal as well. Regarding the findings of fact, this proposal is in accordance with the goals and policies of the comprehensive plan. This is currently the Franklin County Comprehensive Land Use designation is Rural Industrial LAMERD Type 3 under the North Pasco Industrial Area. Rezoning the portion of the parcel from AP 20 to I-2 is consistent with the underlying comprehensive plan designation. The effect of the proposal on the immediate vicinity will not be materially detrimental since the surrounding properties are also within the North Pasco Industrial Area LAMERD and industrial uses already exist close to this property. There is merit and value in the proposal for the community as a whole. Rezoning this property into I-2 is in conjunction with the 8-lot Riemann Industrial Center subdivision, which will encourage the development of businesses and industries within the county. Conditions are not being imposed in order to mitigate any significant adverse impacts from the proposal. So there will not be any conditions of approval regarding the zone change, but there will be for the subdivision. A concomitant agreement is not being entered into between the county and the petitioner, and if so, the terms and conditions of such agreements. There's no development agreement or concomitant agreement that's being agreed upon between the county and the port regarding this zone change. Our suggested motion states that I move to forward zone change 2025-01 SEPA 2025-15 to the Board of County Commissioners with a positive recommendation based on the 5 suggested findings of fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions of staff? Does the applicant or applicant's representative wish to speak or give a presentation? Is there any in-person public testimony? I don't think so. Any email public testimony?
No.
No. Does staff have any final comments?
No final comments.
I will entertain a motion to close the public comment.
Move to close public comment.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner DeRue and seconded by Commissioner Vincent. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Is there any discussion from the Planning Commission members? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to forward ZC 2025-01/SEPA 2025-15 to the Board of County Commissioners with a positive recommendation based on the 5 suggested findings of fact.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to forward ZC 2025-1, SEPA 2025-15 to the Board of County Commissioners with a positive recommendation based on the 5 suggested findings of fact. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mike Corrales,
Yes.
Mike Vincent,
Yes.
Remy DeVru, absent.
Yes.
Yes. Mark DeRuiter,
Yes.
Manny Gutierrez, absent. Stacy Knifton, absent, and Melinda Didier, absent. Chairman, the motion has passed.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing on item number 1.
Move to close the hearing on item 1.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner DeRue and seconded by Commissioner Vincent. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The public hearing is closed. Item 2 is a public hearing for file SUB 2025-4, SEPA 2025-14, Port of Pasco Remain Industrial Center subdivision. The project is for a long subdivision to subdivide the 161-acre parcel into 8 industrial center with access from Railroad Avenue. Approval of this long plat subdivision is contingent upon approval of the zone change application ZC 2025-1. I declare the public hearing for SUB 2025-4, SEPA 2025-14 to be open at 6:16. May we have staff present the staff report?
Good evening, Commissioners. I will present SUB 2025-04 and SEPA 2025-14. The same site descriptions apply to this property as the zone change earlier. The request is for a long subdivision to subdivide a 161-acre parcel into an 8-lot industrial center with access from Railroad Avenue. This project includes developing infrastructure for the lots, including approximately 9,000 lineal feet of roadway improvements or network, 11,000 lineal feet of 16-inch water main, 5,000 lineal feet of 12-inch water main, and water connection to the city of Pasco, electrical and broadband connections to the Franklin PUD, communication systems connections to CenturyLink, and on-site septic systems. Approximately 8,300 track feet of rail spur will be connected from the connection point with BNSF's existing yard trackage into and through the Riemann Industrial Center, which includes approximately 4,800 lineal feet of trackside access road. The rail spur project includes a signalized railroad crossing where the proposed trackage crosses Railroad Avenue. Approval of this long plat subdivision is contingent upon the approval of the zone change application. Here is another picture of the vicinity map for the property. And as mentioned earlier, this is not located in any natural resource designated lands. It is also located inside the North Pasco industrial area. Okay. Here is the preliminary plat. We have 8 lots proposed, the smallest lot being 2.5 acres and the largest one being 41.31 acres. The approval of this subdivision is contingent upon the approval of the zone change application, which was mentioned above. If the zone change application goes through and is approved, the parcel will have a consistent zoning designation of I2. The subdivision of this parcel will allow for more commercial and industrial businesses in the county and will provide for more job opportunities for its residents. Like I mentioned earlier, a SEPA DNS was issued for this project, and it was issued as a combined SEPA for a project and non-project action for both the zone change and the long plat subdivision. Based on the findings of the SEPA mitigation measures for this proposal were determined. 1, best management practices shall be used during construction to minimize dust and airborne particulates and comply with Franklin County Clean Air and Dust Control ordinances. An IDP shall be prepared and implemented for the project through all phases. Best management practices to minimize dust during construction shall be used, such as watering the site, in accordance with local air quality requirements. Vegetative cover or trackifier shall be provided as soon as practical following clearing and grading. Dust control shall comply with applicable local standards. The applicant shall meet and comply with all necessary air and water quality standards required by the Department of Ecology. Compliance with these standards shall occur at all times. Stormwater shall be retained on-site during and after construction. Construction shall avoid disturbance of ferruginous hawk breeding habitats, Washington ground squirrel colonies, and burrowing owl nesting sites where feasible. Should disturbance be unavoidable, consultation with the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife shall occur prior to ground disturbance. Disturbed areas not permanently developed shall be hydroseeded with a dryland grass mix or similar approved revegetation method to prevent erosion and discourage noxious weeds. Regarding agency comments, we received a comment from DAP. DAP concurs that no further direct archaeological supervision is required based on the negative survey results from their cultural resource survey. Implementation of a standard IDP during all ground disturbing activities is recommended, and DAP should be contacted by the applicant if scope or location changes for further review. The Washington State Department of Transportation commented and said direct access to US 395 is prohibited. Access to US 395 is available via the Foster Wells Road and Vineyard Drive intersections. WashDOT recommends the county and the proponent to anticipate turn restrictions being implemented at the US 395 Foster Wells Road and US 395 Vineyard Drive intersections. Skibid originally commented that the applicant needs to contact the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation to request an abandonment and relocation of the existing easement shown on the plat. However, various utility easements shown that cross both existing easement and the proposed relocated easements. And they originally mentioned that they should not cross the USBR easement and to remove those utility easements. And then their other comment is regarding the Bureau of Reclamation section signature line. However, Skibid did submit another comment to update their original comment, requesting that the USBR be contacted and request abandonment and relocation of the existing easements. Any utilities that cross the USBR easement will need to be permitted by Skibid prior to construction. And they are good to go with the applicant putting in their utility easement as long as a crossing permit is received by Skibid for them to be able to put that on the plat. Comment A from September 29, 2025 shall supersede comment A from the previous one on September 24th, 2025. We receive a comment from Public Works Department. Final plat shall be accompanied with closure notes. They put a comment regarding notes that they are going to require on the final plat regarding approach permits. No lots of this subdivision shall have direct access to North Railroad Avenue except Lot 8. The lot owners are responsible for drainage ditches, swales, and other alternate drainage system being installed. Public Works also put in a comment that there shall be landscaping within unimproved portions of the right-of-way. Public Works mentioned that all utilities serving the subdivision must be installed underground. Permanent control monuments shall be installed in accordance with Franklin County standard plans. Cul-de-sacs shall be designed to have 47-foot minimum radius per Franklin County design standards. Every lot corner, beginnings and endings of curves and angled points shall be marked. The development shall comply with the comprehensive plan, Franklin County Comprehensive Parking Ordinance regarding on-street parking. Prior to final plat approval, all roads must be completed to county standards. There is a current franchise agreement that allows for sanitary, water, sewer, and irrigation in county right-of-way within the UGA. Proposed utilities outside the UGA will need to be addressed. Road approach access to North Railroad Avenue from Lot 8 shall meet the required corner clearance from a clearance distance as measured from the edge from traveled way from Road B. And then a signature from Public Works office is required and must be obtained for final approval. Franklin County Planning and Economic Development put in comments for the conditions. Approval of this long plat is contingent upon the approval of the zone change. The city of Pasco intends to provide municipal water service for this proposed subdivision. However, should water mains not be expanded to serve the lots within this subdivision, each lot must be served with a municipal Group A water system prior to development. Lots may not use water from exempt wells. Perk tests must be done by the Benton Franklin Health District prior to the development of this subdivision. An approval letter from the Benton Franklin Health District for lots within the subdivision must be submitted to the Planning and Economic Development prior to final approval. Sewer connections from the city of Pasco cannot be extended on site until such time that this subdivision is in the Pasco UGA. Some of the other comments are regarding plat notes, regarding utility easements, approach permits, and approval of this land subdivision, not guaranteeing approval and issuance of future building permits. There is a plat note for fire suppression system and fire hydrant requirements and setbacks for fire safety. And just a few comments regarding the plat notes and corrections on the plat. The applicant will need to submit a geotechnical report at the time of a grading permit submittal. The applicant must submit the final plat to the Planning and Economic Development for final pre-approval review prior to gathering signatures. Within 5 years of the approval of a preliminary long plat, the subdivision shall prepare and submit approval for approval of final long plat for recording purposes. This details the steps in which the final long plat approval must follow. The Board of County Commissioners shall have sole authority to approve final long plats. This comment from the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife, we have that right now as up for discussion. This is what we got from them. There is a small patch of shrub steppe, a priority habitat, located in the northwest corner of the proposed parcel. Located within this habitat patch is a location of a burrowing owl burrow, a priority species. WDFW recommends avoidance of this habitat patch, approximately 3 acres, to protect both the priority habitat and the priority species, and such a condition be listed in the MDNS. Should the project be approved to protect the habitat at the time of construction, WDFW recommends that the habitat boundaries be carefully delineated and that an occupancy survey for burrowing owls be conducted in the spring, April to May, before clearing. If the burrow is found active, WDFW recommends consulting with us to discuss adequate protection measures to ensure that the owls are not disturbed during clearing of the site.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I can just kick in here just a little bit for this one. So under the SEPA mitigation, we did put in, construction shall avoid disturbance of Vargas hawks, Washington ground squirrel collies, and burrowing owls. That was a condition we did put in here. The reason I had Jem put this up for discussion is this seemed to go above and beyond. It is a critical area. The shrub steppe habitat is something we do have to protect. All they're really asking for is the survey. It is consistent with our critical areas ordinance that a survey be done during the construction. we've talked to the applicant about this, and staff is suggesting that this be a condition that we include. It's really no more erroneous other than the actual survey, and that, again, is consistent with our critical areas ordinance. So just want to bring that to your attention, because it's kind of repetitive, but it's not, in that they're asking for the survey to be done if there's work in the April to May timeframe.
Thank you.
We also have site photos for where the shrub step is. These are, we did a site visit. These are the photos for the shrub step. It's basically a dip on the property on the northwest corner with shrub step. And I also included a picture. This is where it's located. They are proposing the relocation of the USBR drain easement up here. And there is track A above there that's not going to be used. So this is where it's going to be on lot 4 of the proposed subdivision. Planning and Economic Development Department received no comments from surrounding property owners and residents within the county. These are the recommended findings of fact. Adequate provisions have been made for the public health, safety, and general welfare, and for open spaces, drainage ways, stormwater retention and detention, roads, alleys, sidewalks, other public ways, portable water supplies, sanitary ways, parks, playgrounds and recreation, and other public needs. The public health will not be negatively impacted by this proposal, as current state requirements require compliance with septic standards. The applicant stated that the proposed lots will be served by the city of Pasco. A condition is being imposed that should the city of Pasco water main expansion to serve lots within this subdivision not go through, each lot must be served with a municipal Group A water system. Proposed lots will have access from North Railroad Avenue. The applicant is required to comply with Benton Franklin Health District standards, and perk tests must be done prior to development of the lots. Number 2, the proposed subdivision does contribute to the orderly development and land use patterns in the area and assures for safe walking conditions for students. The entire parcel is currently split zoned. Approval of the zone change will allow it to be generally zoned I2. If the zone change application is approved, the entire parcel will be I2 and will be consistent with surrounding land use patterns in the area. The public use and interest will be served by permitting the proposed subdivision. A SEPA review was done and completed for this development. Approval of this subdivision will allow for creations of lots for the purpose of commercial and industrial business use, and will provide for more job opportunities for the residents of the county. The proposed subdivision does conform with the general purposes of any applicable policies or plans which have been adopted by the Board of County Commissioners, including but not limited to the comprehensive plan and its natural and its resource land designations, critical area protections, and zoning requirements, including zoning overlays. The proposed subdivision conforms the minimum lot size requirements of the Franklin County zoning ordinance, which in the I2 zone, there is no minimum lot size requirement. The proposed subdivision conforms to the requirements of the Franklin County subdivision ordinance, including the minimum lot dimensions, lot requirements, and width to depth standards. A SEPA review has been completed for this development. The proposed subdivision does conform with the comprehensive plan and zoning requirements. This is in the rural industrial Lammard type 3, the North Pasco industrial Lammard. There is no minimum lot size for the I2 zone. The development conforms with both the I2 zoning designation and the comprehensive plan. The proposed subdivision does conform to the general purposes of this chapter. This development does comply with the purpose of the county subdivision code. The purpose of the code is to regulate the division of land within unincorporated Franklin County and to implement the goals, objective, and policies of the Franklin County Comprehensive Plan. These are the recommended conditions of approval for this project. All SEPA conditions are listed from 1 to 6, including the portion about the ferruginous hawk breeding habitats, Washington ground squirrel colonies, and the burrowing owl nesting sites. We added the condition of comply with the requirements of the Washington Fish and Wildlife regarding their recommendation for habitat boundaries to be surveyed during the spring. Comply with the requirements of SCIBID, where the first portion of it has been changed to their updated comment. Comply with the requirements of the Franklin County Public Works Department. Comply with the requirements of the Franklin County Planning and Economic Development Department. All statements that are required to be on the face of the plat shall either be recorded as a restrictive covenant on each applicable parcels or described in detail in the developer's covenants that are recorded and provided to each lot owner. The applicant shall coordinate with Planning and Economic Development and the county E911 GIS coordinator for designation of addresses and road names for the development. Both addresses and road names shall be shown on the final plat. The applicant needs to coordinate with USPS regarding centralized box units, locations for the development. This preliminary plat approval will be valid for 5 years following the approval of the Board of County Commissioners. The next condition states that within 5 years approval of a preliminary long plat, the subdivision shall prepare and submit for approval a final long plat for recording purposes. The Board of County Commissioners shall have the sole authority to approve final long plats. Any changes to the approved preliminary plat must be reviewed by the Planning and Economic Development Director to determine whether it is a major or minor adjustment. Should the Planning and Economic Development Director determine the changes to be a major adjustment, a new application for a preliminary plat is required and shall be processed as a new and separate application. As proposed, this will be a single-phase project and not a phased development. Prior to obtaining the county treasurer's signatures and final plat, the applicant shall visit the county assessor's office to receive a treasurer's verification form for the property. And then the last condition talks about the final long plat requirements, in which it needs to be developed by a state licensed surveyor and shall be developed according to the county ordinance for subdivision. And it states all the signature blocks and the last 5 signatures that are required for final long plat approval. The suggested motion is I move to forward SUB 2025-04, SEPA 2025-14 to the Board of County Commissioners with a positive recommendation based on the 6 suggested findings of fact and 20 conditions of approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions of staff? Does the applicant or applicant's representative wish to speak or give a presentation?
Mr. Chair, before you get that, if I may just interject, your proposed motion that you have there, Jem, has the findings of fact and the 20 conditions of approval, and that doesn't include the SEPA conditions. They'll need to add the SEPA conditions?
The 20 conditions of approval includes the SEPA conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So we don't need to amend anything? No. Okay.
Good evening. I'm Stephen McFadden. Excuse me. Am I on?
Yes.
There we go. Director of Economic Development for the Port of Pasco, most recently also Deputy Executive Director for the Port of Pasco. A couple of things I wanted to add for you kind of as an update. The health district PERT tests that are required, they've already been completed. Those were completed on the 2nd of October. We have not received the certificate yet, but we were informed by those doing the testing for the health district that there were no issues determined at that time. We filed an application with the Bureau of Reclamation for the abandonment and the relocation of that federal drain about 6 months ago. That is going to be a long process. Those 2 particular lots where that drain travels will likely stay undeveloped until we're able to move to that abandonment and relocation of that drain. And we have been working directly with Skibbit with regard to the easements for the utilities that will need to lie on the perimeter of the property. Additionally, just so you're aware, when we did the phase 1 of the Ryman Industrial Center, which is where Darigold currently sits, we actually extended the city's water line, 16-inch ductile iron main in the right-of-way of Railroad Avenue all the way to our northwest property line. So all along the frontage of this 160-acre piece of ground. Jim, would you be able to go back to the lot layout that you had early in your presentation? Just so you know where we are in terms of the potential development, 3 of these lots are already spoken for by private industry, and they will be ready to go as early as 2026, assuming that we're able to advance this long plat subdivision to approval. That would include Lot 1, Lot 3, and Lot 5, and then also potentially Lot 8, which would be made available to Franklin PUD to support their brand-new substation, which is currently powering the Ryman and Darigold and will power all of the new entities that locate there. All of them are industrial companies, and all of them will make large private investments and create a significant number of jobs for Franklin County. That's really all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more in-person public testimony? No. Is there any email public testimony?
No, sir, there is not.
Does staff have any final comments?
No final comments.
I will entertain a motion to close the public comment portion.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved by Commissioner DeRuiter and seconded by Commissioner DeRue. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Public testimony portion of the public hearing for SUB 2025-4, SEPA 2025-14 is closed. Is there any discussion from the Planning Commission members? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I move to forward SUB 2025-4, SEPA 2025-14 to the Board of County Commissioners with a positive recommendation based on the 6 suggested findings of fact and the 20 conditions of approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner DeRue and seconded by Commissioner DeRuiter to approve SUB 2025-4, SEPA 2025-14 to the Board of County Commissioners with a positive recommendation based on the 6 suggested findings of fact and the 20 conditions of approval. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Mike Corrales,
Yes.
Mike Vincent,
Yes.
Remy DeRue,
Yes.
Mark DeRuiter,
Yes.
Manny Gutierrez, absent. Stacy, absent. Melinda, absent. Chairman, the motion has passed.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on item 2.
I'll move to close the public hearing for item 2.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Vincent and seconded by Commissioner DeRuiter. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The public hearing is closed. Thank you. Boss, do you have a GMA update?
Yeah, I've got a couple of updates if I can, sir. Just a real quick GMA update. Been talking to our consultant HBL, and we had some scheduled dates for public meetings to start really getting into public input. It got hung up because trying to find locations, and so we'll probably, that's being kicked down the road just a little bit. We are anxious to get that started. I'm anxious to get started with the climate portion. There's been a lot of work done, but it's been kind of behind the scenes, gathering data and information we need to move the process forward. Kind of anxious to get started on the climate part of this. Part of that will be I need to put out a public notice asking for an advisory board. That's one of the requirements of the grant. Just so you're aware, we originally received $350,000 grant for the update cycle. That came in this year before July 1st. We've got another grant that was split between now and June of next year. That's like approximately $247,000. And then we'll get another little piece from July 1st to December of next year. Totals another $350,000. I also have the climate update grant that we've gotten, and it's been, we're getting final signatures on the update grant now. The climate grant has been signed and fully executed, and I have $500,000 in which to create that element. I've been in conversation with our biggest impact from the climate is agriculture. Over on the west side, it seems to be transportation. Over here in this side of the state, it tends to be agriculture. I've got a few ideas on how best to, one, protect agriculture while also meeting the mandates of the state requirement for the climate change, and have been in conversation with the Conservation District. I think they'll have a part in our proposal. Again, that's a little ways of being formalized to bring to you guys for input. I would encourage you when we advertise for we'll make sure that you guys get the advertisement for the open houses. If there is one in your area and you're able to attend, I would encourage you to attend those and hear for yourself what the public might ask us to which direction to go on some of this stuff. I expect a survey to go out along with when we publish for the open house meetings that we're planning on having. And we do have a link on our website that you can go to that does, and in my, I think it's all of us on the planning side of the house, when we send out emails, we have a little link. We created a special link email that puts every email related to the update, whether it's climate or not, into that for the record. So we're able to maintain a good record of what public input we get. And I have encouraged people to start submitting comments they have now. If you have neighbors who have given you thoughts of, we'd like to see this change in the county, encourage them to use that, get on the website or find that link and put those comments in now. The more we have earlier, the better we're going to be. That's it for my GMA update. I wish I had a little bit more, but I think like I said, we've been doing a lot of behind the scenes type of work, trying to get things prepared. There's a lot of information that the consultant and staff has to gather to even be able to present anything. As you may have noticed, we are now called the Planning and Economic Development Department. It was the commissioners a couple of weeks ago made a resolution changing our department name. We still include the building department under that umbrella, but in doing so, there's a hope that we can get a little bit more involved in the economic development side of the house for the county. We don't really have any specific department or individual that's pertaining to economic development, so they've kind of tasked us for one more thing, which is fine because we were kind of doing it anyway. But just wanted to give you that update. And the last update I have for you is that today we did receive Melinda Denier's resignation as a planning commissioner. I'm sorry to see that occur. We will be advertising for that position, and it is my intent to ask the commissioners to formally recognize her for the 15 years that she served on this planning commission. That's quite the commitment for anybody, and we're very appreciative of that. I'm appreciative for anybody who wants to sit on a board for that long. I know I've got long-term commitment myself that I did for 20 years, and after a while, it's long enough, but we should recognize that. So I'll ask the commissioners if they will so recognize. And, sir, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have for my updates.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to comment on anything else? Seeing none, the Planning Commission meeting is adjourned at 6:50.